welcome to another episode of DIOTALK. I'm Dio. Let's talk. I would like to welcome my guest of the day, a very talented podcaster. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to Miranda Monday. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hi, nice to be on the show. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you for reaching out. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you have this awesome podcast, which is, I believe you go live every Monday on your Facebook group.
Yes.
Uh, Whoever's listening or viewing the podcast, go check her out. Tell me what inspired you to start the podcast.
So it kind of started about 6 years ago.
Mm.
My kids had talked me into retiring from being a fugitive recovery agent. They were worried about,
Whoa. Well,
yeah, they
stop
were
right there. Stop right there. What is a fugitive recovered agent for those
bounty
like me
hunters.
that they don't bounty hunter?
Yes.
Wow, that's
So I
dope.
would pick up warrants from the courthouse, and then me and my team would go and hunt them down.
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah,
That's dope. That's badass.
kicking indoors, and I was usually the first one shoved up through a window because I was so small, and I was always the fastest one, so I was always at the
Wow.
door first. So yeah, it was. I got some stories.
Oh man, I would definitely love to hear. I mean, that's dope.
Yeah,
So
that was.
that was a quite experience.
It absolutely was. I loved it. I miss it.
Well, the times has changed, right? There's not really any bounty hunters anymore, right?
There actually are. They just they when they get their license, they're bondsmen.
Mm,
So a bondsman can be a bounty hunter. I went strictly for hunting people. I didn't want to write bonds.
got it, got it. So you're here, you're finally retired, and this amazing career you had. What's next?
So what I did was um about 5 years ago, there was a local artist from the town that I was living in, and I started supporting him. And he and I started working together. He did me really dirty, but I catapulted his career, and it was in the hip hop country rap genre.
Mm,
So at the time, I asked like the Elvis of
hmm.
country rap. I said, what do you foresee happening here? And he said that he wanted to put country rap on everyone's dining room table.
Mm,
I said, okay, let me see what I can do. So 3 years ago, I started the podcast, and I have over 100 interviews
wow.
um, with big names. But more importantly, I wanted to do it for the little guys who can't afford promotions or don't know how to promote themselves. Um, so I created it for them to have a stage, um, to be able to talk with them, get to know them, let the fans get to know them.
Wow.
Um, just like with us, we create, a conversation. I have key points and questions if I have to drag stuff out of people.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm already prepped for that. But if not, we keep it completely conversational, keep it light and airy. I'm not trying to be Oprah. I don't want you to tell me your deepest, darkest secrets or anything like that. Um, but yeah, I've had people on like Struggle Jennings, which is Waylon Jennings' grandson.
Wow.
I've had Adam Calhoun on, which he now has created his own label and is helping to catapult other artists. Um, I've had Haystack on. Haystack was one of the first 10 white rappers that actually made it in rap. He's
Wow.
been doing it 27 years. Um, but I got the big guys to keep all the fans' attention and to be able to have viewers for the littler guys.
Okay.
So that's what I created it for, was to pay it forward basically.
Wow. So you created basically a foundation for and where artists can come and develop and people get to know them, which is essentially very important when you're up and coming star.
Yeah. Yep.
So and what and if you don't mind me asking, what happened? Because you were essentially a pillar for
Yeah.
this gentleman to grow. I mean, it's not the first time artists do this to people, so you know.
Right. Right. So I I helped catapult his career and put him on the map. And I had decided at that point in time when he did me dirty that no man is ever going to dictate what type of form, fashion, or way I go.
Boom.
I come from just a short year, like just a short year before this. Um, I had a very good friend of 22 years. We had lost his mom in September, and this was Halloween, coming into Halloween. And he came and he picked me up. We like was going out on this date, and long story short, he beat me within an inch of my life,
Wow.
left me for dead on the side of the highway, didn't expect me to still be alive, to run across the highway, jump over the median, run across the other side of the highway, up the steep embankment to safety. And that's really what ultimately created the cunt throat cunt that I am today.
Wow. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I am
Thank
honestly
you.
am. And much respect for overcoming it and rebuilding yourself. That takes a lot of strength and courage. You should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you a lot.
You're
I
welcome.
I quit because I had a big ass swelled up face and black eye and busted lip. I mean, it was bad. So I worked at a gun store at the time,
Mm.
and I was in the gun department. So I had to go to them, and I was like, "Hey, I need to take some time off." You know, I put makeup on, I put my glasses on, I went in and I showed them. I took my makeup off and everything, and I showed them why I can't be in the gun department right now. You know, it's just not appealing
It's
to
not
have.
safe, you know. It's not
Yeah.
mentally. You're probably not in the right state, you know, and you work in a gun department, you know, like
Mhm.
I think just making that decision alone, I commend you.
Yeah, I took a break from the gun business. I went ahead and I retired from bounty hunting. I was bouncing at a bar at the time, and I called them, and he's like, "You're not quitting. You know, what do we need to do to make this right?" And I'm like, "No, I'm prosecuting." Um, so it took me about 3 weeks to get my face even presentable to go to work. Um, and I went back to the bouncing. And when my face cleared up a little bit more, I went back to it was Gander Mountain at the time. I don't think they have any more stores, but yeah, I worked in the gun department at Gander Mountain when it happened. I
Wow.
also repoed cars. I also did the bounty hunting. I waited tables.
So
So
you're a badass. You're a badass. A
I
very
can
badass.
I can be.
Wow.
I there's been times I've looked at people and I said, "Don't catch an ass whooping that ain't meant for you."
I'm into that.
So yeah, it's definitely been a rocky road, but I decided that no man is ever going to tell me what the fuck to do when the fuck to do it.
Amen. As it should. As it should. And this gentleman, like, did the cops get him? Did somebody whoop his ass? Like,
They they absolutely caught him, and I prosecuted him. I sat across from him in a courtroom and told my side of the story, and he never told his side of the story. He never had an excuse. He never had a reason. He was mouthing to me across the courtroom when there was a protective order. He's going, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?" And I said, "Karma. I'm just pushing it along."
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So you're able to build yourself up. You pass from that. What now?
I started the podcast to pay it forward. I have now switched up jobs. I'm in logistics.
Okay.
So no more kicking indoors, no more scouting out, cheating individuals. Um, no more infiltrating businesses where I have to learn the business and I'm running an investigation at the same time.
Wow.
So no more of that. Um, and now it's to the point that uh okay, you got to be a little crazy to hunt the biggest thing that can shoot back at you.
Hmm.
Let's get past that. We know I'm crazy. Um Now what do I do? Now what do I jump out of a perfectly good airplane for that adrenaline
Hmm.
thrill? Do
Hmm.
I, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where do you go from that? So still trying to find that.
Where are you from? If you don't mind me asking. Where's
I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Wow. Um,
Mhm.
if I was you, I would try some jujitsu. I highly recommend it. I think
It
that
grosses out.
the adrenaline, the aggression, that thirst of excitement, right?
Mhm.
Is there's nothing better when you have some type of experience, right? And you're rolling with a person, and you have this potential of the possibility of somebody gonna choke you out, but yet you had that insane thirst to choke them out.
Yeah, it's really odd what creeps into your DNA and stays. I was involved in a serious accident back in October. A guy hit me doing 50
Wow.
and it spun my truck 180. I was in a Suburban and it spun my truck 180. And as the truck was filling up with smoke from the airbags deploying, because every single airbag deployed in the car, that's how hard he hit me. And I came out of the truck. I have two devices, as some of us do who create content. You got two
Hmm.
phones.
Yeah.
Um, and I took out one of my phones and I called my best friend. He lived like a mile away. I said, "Look, this is where I'm at. I just got hit really fucking hard. I need you to come now." He beat the police and the ambulances there. And
As anybody that cares for a person would do, because they,
yes,
no shade to them, but it's just the truth.
yes, yes, he beat the police and the ambulance there. And I had you as soon as I got off the phone with him, I hung up my one phone. My other phone I was hitting record on. And as I come out of the truck, like I had to crawl through airbags because I come from down below in the door and up above in the door. And as I came out, I had both my phones in one hand and I had two guys walking up to me. And I was like, what happened? I went dumb girl. Oh my God, what happened? What happened? Well, the guy ended up confessing straight up. I got the recording. I had a witness. I got all their names. I got all their information before the cops got there. So, who does that? Who comes out of a serious wreck recording what's going on? This crazy person.
Wow. Wow. So wow. It's been a journey.
Yes, very
It's
much so.
it's been a journey. So
Yes.
you overcame that. You overcame something life threatening once again.
Oh, yes. I actually had to have surgery on my neck back in March where they cut the front of your neck and they work on your spine.
Mm-hmm.
So from the wreck, I completely pinched off a nerve in my neck and my arm was starting to atrophy. And
Mm-hmm.
I went to the hospital and they said, well, look, because I'm like, I don't want narcotics. I just want you to make the pain go away, just whatever you got to do. So they sent in a specialist and come to find out, he goes, well, we can have emergency surgery and we'll get you scheduled in the next couple of days. Or I can see you in my office here in a couple months because that's how backlogged I am. And then we can talk about it. I said, I'll be killing people, if not myself, in a couple of months from the pain.
Wow.
So they scheduled me right then for a day and a half later emergency surgery to put in a new cadaver disc and take out the banged up one and put a metal plate in so it keeps it separated.
Wow. How long has it been since you got operated?
Early March.
Oh, so it hasn't been even a year.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
No, October will be a year for the accident.
Wow.
October is not a good month for me.
No?
No, no, too many bad anniversaries coming up in October.
No, I guess we just got to build new ones and better ones.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's one thing. Yeah, you were able to build yourself up and start these amazing podcasts and moving forward, just life experience.
Absolutely. I actually took off a month. I shut down production of the podcast for a month to recover from it. And when we came back, it was like learning everything over again. I was like, this is so weird. Um, but yeah, coming back to the podcast after the wreck and after everyone knowing that, dude was playing on his cell phone. So I'm a huge advocate of, if you're in the vehicle with me and you're driving, if you grab your cell phone, I will snatch your cell phone from you.
Wow.
Yeah, like I don't play around. He said he was playing with his radio. I seen him a split second because he hit me on the driver's side. I seen him a split second before he hit me, and he was sure enough doing this while he was driving.
Wow. And that's something that from playing with your phone, drinking. I think now in New Jersey you can't smoke because they legalized cannabis, so you can't smoke while you're driving.
Oh wow,
Yep.
that's crazy. I
Hmm.
didn't know that.
Yeah. They wanted. I think they wanted uh, police. They gave permission to police to smoke marijuana now when they're not on duty, but the governor said no. He's not having that.
That is actually a good thing. I think that they should still be pillars of our society.
Yep. I agree.
I have a love hate for police. I love the good ones. I hate the bad ones.
And the crazy part is, yeah, it's hard to tell who is who
Absolutely.
because a cop could be a total asshole, but yet he could be a good cop.
Or you want to watch for the small town cops who literally own the town.
Hmm.
I lived in a small town where people feared the police because of how corrupt they were. Um, when I was a PI, I was running an investigation and I actually sorry, I got a phone call. I actually made friends with a person across the street from the individual's house that I was investigating and set up cameras and audio. And I caught a couple cops partaking in stolen property.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does one become a PI?
So you would either put in the hours because you have to have so many hours and you can start your own like PI firm.
Like hours as in police detective or
Yes, you would have to put in, I think it's like 40 some odd hours that you would have to put in. doing investigations and sitting on stakeouts and what have you. Or you can go and work for a company that already has a PI license and you get licensed through them. And that's what I did.
Mm,
Yeah, I got licensed through Blackwater Agency.
wow.
Yeah, it was,
You've had an intense journey because just being a PI, like catching police officers being corrupted, like must be at some point like it becomes a toll and stress and factor because you gotta you gotta watch yourself because you don't know who's
absolutely,
who. I recently I recently got my press pass like because I'm a journalist,
yeah.
media journalist. I like to call myself. I focus more on media than writing articles and whatnot.
Hmm.
And I was sitting down with my wife, and she was just asking me all these questions that were concerns.
Yeah.
Uh, and yes, hypothetically, what if I was hired to do something and get some information? How would that work? And is just thinking about it stresses me out. But I can imagine actually doing this work. And you must have nerves of steel.
I can have, I mean, with doing the bouncing, we had a situation where we got shot at and we ended
Wow.
up pulling the guys out of the car and there was four of them. Thankfully, my guys listened to me and I was like, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot. And when we got them all out, it was one guy with two guns and the other three were innocents.
Wow.
So we could have killed three innocent people because one 18-year-old had just
Wow.
got his gun permit and it was New Year's Eve coming into New Year's morning about 3 a.m. on New Year's morning. And he unloaded two guns in the parking lot. And he apparently didn't keep up with the laws because that happened to be the same day that it came into effect. If you let off a firearm within city limits, it's a felony.
Wow.
So he copped a couple felonies on that. And I think they let everyone else go. But yeah, so nerves of steel, I can't have them.
Wow. 18. It's like I've never been to Indiana. Like I can imagine like some places it's just like the Wild Wild West.
It's constitutional carry now in Indiana. That just came into effect July 1st. So you don't even have to have a gun permit to carry anymore,
Wow.
which I'm not necessarily good with because, again, in Indiana, you have to be 21 to smoke, you have to be 21 to drink. You
But
can
you'll
be
be
18
18
to,
to with a gun.
yeah, you can be 18 to own a gun. And that's on the law books from way back in the Wild West times, like,
Hmm.
because the kids would run the stores or whatever for the parents and then have to do the nightly drop. So that's why it came into effect that you could be 18 and carry. Now, you can't be 18 and purchase from a gun store or any FFL licensed dealer, but you can make a personal purchase from an individual and carry that.
It's just when it comes to guns, like I feel like it's like uh it's like something popular that everybody wants, but nobody
Mhm.
understands the responsibility of it.
Nope. And you hear all the time how these parents have their guns laying around and they're not keeping up with their kids. So their kids get it. They shoot somebody, they shoot themselves, they take it to school, they shoot up the school. Just irresponsible gun ownership is too rampant to have it constitutional carry.
I agree.
But to be fair, we can now buy alcohol on Sundays and weed's still illegal.
It's still illegal in Indiana.
It's still illegal.
Wow, ain't
I'm
that
like,
something?
if you gave people the right to smoke weed, they wouldn't shoot people. I'm just saying. That's what I've heard. A friend told me.
Wow, that's insane. That's very concerning. I mean, I don't know where this world is headed. And it's like we're every day we're divided a little bit more than we already were.
Yes,
And I see, now we're divided by colors. Right? There's black, there's whites, there now Hispanics, there's Indians, which I think people call them brown people for some reason.
I know.
Um,
I don't either.
uh, you got the LGBT community now; they have their own, and it's like we're slowly dividing. We're not we're segregating from one another. We're not working for with one another anymore.
No,
And there's always a cause. Somebody there's always a cause for something, and that cause 9 out of 10 doesn't feel like it's not helping anybody.
agreed. I would have to agree wholeheartedly on that entire statement.
And
But that goes back to people being selfish or narcissistic.
mhm.
We are a population these days that drama and negativity thrives,
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
and that is just not a way to be or go. I'm not saying give up everything for free, but what happened to the barter system or help thy neighbor?
Yeah. Or I'm not sure you grew up with this one, but I did was what was it like? Don't do wrong to others if you wouldn't like it done to you, right? Or something like that. And that's
Yep,
something that's
absolutely.
constantly circulating.
Hmm. Yep.
Circulating. I was talking to one of my friends, and we're talking about journalism. And when I first got into this world of journalism, like they often continue to state that a journalist's duty is to always report uh, the facts. You're not there to take sides. You're not there to opinionate. You're not there to share your thoughts. You're there to collect a base of information, put it out there, and let the people decide. Just
Yeah,
like everything now, everybody wants to control the narrative.
exactly. Exactly. And when it's so bad that your actual news on TV, on cable, what have you, they're putting up false narratives
Hmm.
and trying to lead you in one direction or the other, be it, divided by Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever it may be, whatever the news source
Yeah,
back
correct,
is whose side they're going to tell.
correct, correct.
So that's why we have to rely on independent people like you. You're going out there, you're putting it in.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to talk to people. I'm not trying to sit there and have a continuity of conversations and where my side is right. I'm not trying to say you're right or wrong. I'm just trying to understand why you feel that way and have a decent conversation. And I feel that that's very difficult because people want to take a mountain and die there.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you have to have actual life experience to be able to understand certain things in life.
Mm.
Because if you were able to understand those things with your experience, a lot of people wouldn't be opinionated or
I,
saying,
they wouldn't say it. That's the
"Yep,
important part. They wouldn't say it, or they wouldn't telephone tough guy screenshot shitheaded.
yep, yep." And
So yeah, absolutely.
it's I find it very scary. Right? A lot of I've been judged so much because I grew up with my grandparents in Puerto Rico, right? So I'm kind of old school, right? I see some things sometimes black and white rather than
Yes.
colorful, but like I just the more colorful things are, it's like a blur line. It's like
Very blurry.
it's not like it's not a yes or no. It's not if you're right or wrong. So
Exactly.
like you're just shrugging your shoulders, and with that we lost the sense of values.
Yes.
And I mean, that's me, right?
No, no, you're absolutely right. But it goes back to several generations of some form of absenteeism.
Mm,
So either the father's not there, the mother's not there, um, they are there sporadically, or they are there all the time physically, just not there mentally, emotionally,
yeah,
spiritually.
contributing.
Exactly. So, and it's generational, well, I ain't got to be in my kid's life because my grandpa ran out when they were 10 years old. And then
Mm,
my grandpa, he just wasn't around at all, so
mm,
it's, it's getting to the point where, parents these days just quickly hand over their cell phone to their kid to play with. So they're not being, you know, they're being preoccupied by something that the parent doesn't have to supply to them.
mm,
And then, so there's a whole generation, or at least two generations, that you got to think about. We're not going to have pictures in the future from.
mm.
They're all on cell phones.
Yeah.
If
And
you don't
people,
print them
yeah,
off,
yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say that
yeah, if you
correctly.
don't print them off, we're not going to have any history in 100 years.
Yeah, and everything can be deleted like this.
Yep, absolutely. And it's
Everything,
scary.
yeah, yeah. Everything's become so digital. So,
Mhm.
like, I don't know if having things so convenient, right? It's a good thing,
Agreed.
because there's the struggle's real, right? The struggle's real, but you need that. Unfortunately, you need that because that's how you build character. That's how you get to know yourself.
Yes.
See what you're made of, see where you're willing to take and where you're not willing to take, and that's okay.
Yes.
um and I just it's very scary. It's very scary.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can see it. You can see it in the music business. What,
Yes.
5 years ago, you would have to absolutely go to a studio, pay studio time, pay your engineer, make sure it gets mixed and mastered. If you have somebody else jumping on it, make sure that they get their side of it taken care of. Then it comes together and the whole song comes to fruition and they're able to release it. Nowadays, and especially in country rap, there's an oversaturation of people doing their own thing. You can shoot a video now from an iPhone. You can get all of these different downloads and apps to be able to sing rap on, mix master, and then upload it to YouTube.
Hmm.
Well, that's not such a good thing. And it's in all genres. It
Hmm.
really is. But you have to weed through so much shit,
Trap.
for lack of a better
Yeah,
term,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
to get to the good stuff, because people are putting it out. And there are some killer artists out there who are trying to go about it the right way and do the right thing. And they just can't keep up, because these days our attention spans are like
It's
7 seconds,
yeah.
because we're always scrolling on our phone. We're always looking at something. So having to weed through all the crap to get to the good stuff, people are going to lose interest in very quickly, um, because it's not consistent. The
Hmm.
little guy
Hmm.
can't stay consistent and put out a song
Yeah, well,
like
I mean,
Jelly
it's
Roll
so,
every day.
yeah, there's so much traffic. I mean,
Yes.
don't get me wrong. It's a good thing, and where we live in a time everybody could do the things on their own. That's fine. But how do you know something's good or special? How do you know, hey, this kid, this girl, they really got it. They really got it. Because
So,
this is an important thing, and where like not everybody's gonna be good at what they do.
right.
There's not everybody's willing to put in that work.
Hmm.
I grew when I was growing up. There was there was a bunch of kids that wanted to be like, I don't know, you know who's Daddy Yankee, or he's like a Spanish Daddy Yankee.
I think it sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's a Spanish, well-known Spanish rapper, right? Everybody
Mhm.
wanted to be like him. It's like example, like everybody wants to be Tupac when Tupac came out,
Yeah,
and they thought that writing and going to studio and recording that was enough. They weren't practicing their craft. There's people I know that would take a set day and practice their song and practice like they were on the stage. They're they're
that's
they
key. That's one of the
yeah,
big things with a new artist. They're like, "Oh, I got a whole album. I'm ready to drop it. Can you sing that album from beginning to end?
yeah.
Know all of them. Be sure that you're on point, and you can also keep the stamina of giving the audience the
Mm-hmm.
energy that they deserve, that they paid for.
Mm-hmm.
And can you do all of that for 2 hours?" And they're like, I'm like,
Yeah. You gotta always maintain. You always gotta maintain your your present to the crowd. You always
"Mhm.
your presence as well, right? And
Yeah,
they don't know that. A lot of people get on stage and the first thing they do is give them the back. Give them
yes.
for some reason, giving them back, right?
Mhm.
Or giving the side. No, the people there to see you gotta be like eye to eye with these people.
Yeah, and then when you're not on stage, you have to be sure that you're communicating with them through social media. You have to garner and develop these relationships with fans and what have you, because if you don't, at the end of the day, if you don't have fans and loyal
Mhm.
fans, why are you here?
Yeah, and this is so important. I was speaking to a good friend of mine. He's a singer, right? And he like a couple of months ago he dropped his album, and I was talking to him, and he wants to get more out there. It's like go on tour. You need loyal listeners, but you also need to build new listeners.
Yes.
That's why like I sit back sometimes and break down like these labels companies that lend people money because that's what they do. They'll lend them the money, right?
Yes.
You have to take with your team when you brought on, you have to manage that money well
Mhm.
in order for you to pay that money back and keep your masters, right? You got
Yes.
hey, like I realized the other day that you could be the number one artist right now, but if you owe that money, like the people who's gaining that money is the record label because they're the own your masters, but you don't own it because you owe that money.
Mhm.
And this is where like the culture is all about bling and sneakers and all that shit, right? Which is dope, right? Fine, but that right there, that unnecessary presentation is maintaining you broke and not enabling you to own your own masters.
Exactly.
So record labels, it's convenient for record labels to keep you in debt.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, look at what happened to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I hate that it happened to her, and I hate bringing it up, but it's a hard, cold reality of the music business. The music business will chew you up and spit you out
Mm-hmm.
if you are not ready, and then you still owe them
Yeah.
with a smile.
Yep. That's why
You
so
know.
many people rather just spend their first 5 years going on tour. And that's why they become so known. That tour
Hmm.
money is you got to save that money and buy your shit back. That's the only
See,
way.
all the money is really in the merch.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you have merchandise to sell at the shows, you're going to make money on top of what you've already made. But if you're smart about it, you're going to reinvest it in yourself and not on the
Yes.
next new bling or the next best car or what have you. That's where you have to be very business minded. I deal with a lot of independent artists. If you don't continue to reinvest in yourself in some form or fashion,
Mm-hmm.
you're becoming stagnant, which means you're becoming irrelevant.
And that right there, your statement has to be broken down a little bit more. Go into debt because they think investing in yourself is buying a fucking $100,000 chain.
Right. Yeah. No, you would have to invest in yourself, putting it into doing more
Advertising.
music, advertising, setting up features with bigger artists. Um, because if you play your cards right, one feature can catapult your career, but how are you going to stay there? So it's a whole process. You have to reinvest in yourself. I think it's a lyric out of one of Struggle Jennings' song, made 50,000, invested 65,000.
Hmm.
It's just how, it's the nature of the beast. I get a lot of artists who they've done it all themselves and now they just want to be an artist. So they're giving up the independent, being able to do what you want when you want, to sign with a label that's going to tell you what you can do and when you can do it.
Yeah, and if you're an artist that right now, well, record labels one is if you have a fan base
Yes. That's why
that
they
you,
said
yeah,
Jelly Roll.
yeah, you built your if you built your own fan base and own your own catalog, you then you have enough knowledge so when you get offer you can negotiate that because you're
Yes.
ready. That is, you already have you already went so far on your own,
Yes.
and some artists are not able to understand that. And yet again, it's all doing your due diligence.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to know all aspects to be able to make it. You have to know all aspects of the music business so you don't get fucked over. Because again, it's a dog eat dog world in the music business.
Yeah.
I'm not like that, but my fan base already knows my character.
Hmm.
you know, Regardless if there's lies and rumors started to try to get you down,
Hmm.
they still know my character.
Hmm.
They still know I'm paying it forward. I'm paying studio time. I go out and I book the artist, or I have to go through the management and wait and do that game back and forth. But I can go just directly to the artist and be like, hey, do you want to be on a podcast? Do you want to be interviewed? And a lot of them, why I keep doing it is a lot of them, when they actually look into who I am, if they don't know who I am, they're like, oh my God, you've had everybody on your show. I'm
Wow.
like, well, not everybody. There's still a couple on my to-do list, but yeah, because I'm also an ordained minister.
Okay.
So I do a lot of consulting slash, um, I really don't bring the Bible in, but I get a lot of people telling me their secrets and their stories and what have you. So I went ahead and I became ordained. That way I carry those secrets with me to the grave.
Wow.
If let's just say hypothetically you had killed somebody, if you came to me and confessed that you killed somebody, the body's here, this is how you did it, I can't be forced to testify against you in court.
Wow.
Yep, it's a privilege, kind of like with your doctor, with your lawyer, it's a privilege. So
And because you're ordained, even if you wanted to, your word would count.
yep,
Wow.
yep. You can tell me anything, and I'm not telling nobody else about it. I've got some deep dark secrets of some people who've done me so dirty. I've never released that. That's because that's not who I am. My character is so much better than that I don't have to tell your evil secrets. I'm not going to tell your evil secrets. You can talk all the trash you want to about me because I can bust you out in all the lies.
Wow.
It's gotten to the point now that my haters are going to the upper echelon of the music business with these lies to try to strangle me off from the top down, and that ain't working.
Wow. Why do you think they hate so much?
Oh, there's one guy specifically that hates me. Well, there's two guys. two guys that specifically hate me. The guy that I helped catapult his career, um, my last laugh on him was um, he had kicked his brother out of his house. Well,
Wow.
his brother made a post. People knew that I'm gathering individuals and their stories for this one specific artist to bust him out. And another couple reached out to me and said, "Hey, look at this post." And I did. And it was his brother who he kicked out, wouldn't give him any of his clothes, wouldn't give him any of his property, nothing like that. So I teach him how to get it back legally and use the police to do it.
Wow.
So that was my last laugh on him. We got in the house, we got his brother's belongings, and there wasn't a goddamn thing he could do about it.
Wow.
Now, the other individual who hates me, now, okay, so that first individual, he hates me because I have the truth and the scoop and the dirt on him. So you have to try to discredit me before I can tell your truth. I'm not telling your truth. So you're just making yourself look stupid by making up lies and bullshit about me when I can prove that it's absolutely false and not true. The other individual who hates me because of the first individual when I went to work with him. But I've put hands on this individual. So when he stole my phone and I got it all on recording, he stole my phone and tried to delete the clip because he had shoved me. And he thought that he had deleted it, and you can hear him. I'm hot on him. He's going, "Get this bitch off me, get this bitch off me, get her off me,"
Wow.
with my phone. And so his latest last laugh on me is to tell people that my associate, who works very closely with me, who I've known over 20 years, who I went to high school with, who I'm very closely connected to, and he goes with me to these shows to A, watch my back, and B, to help me record, do video, whatever it may be. He knows how I want it. So now the newest lie is that he's a pedophile.
Oh God. Damn.
So they are trying to they can't discredit me with my truth
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to continue to make me infamous. So go ahead, keep telling my truth. Go
Mm-hmm.
ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to make up lies about the people who work with me.
Wow.
Now
So
this
you,
got
so
a very
you manage artists at the moment.
I have managed artists. I manage, produce, and promote. Um, I do everything behind the scenes. I hate being on camera. I hate being on camera. I
So
love.
so did you start your own, like, have you start right your own promotion services and get these motherfuckers like on the contract?
So I haven't went as far as to start doing working with them with contracts. Um, I've stayed away from contracts, but at the same time, I don't want an artist to feel like they are being choked off themselves.
I mean, but I've seen when you've done, and I have a great understanding of what you're saying. But like, this is this the music industry is black and white. It's not colorful. If you put in the work to assist somebody, hope and dreams are not going to pay the bills. you
Absolutely.
you hoping this person is going to blow up are not going to pay your bills, because you're still going to be in the struggle.
Yeah.
Now if you can, if you're doing the work so that this person, all he does is show up respectfully, you should be compensated.
Yeah.
Because like where you're saying, that's just noise, that's negative. You don't need that shit. You've come through so much. Like, you got to put that shit in God's hands and let God take care of him. If you know how great you are, because I I'm listening to everything you're saying. It's like you've done so fucking much, overcome so fucking much. Like you are undeniable. So these people, there's just noise. Create your own shit. Sign these fucking people. Get them. You know, your job is to get them. You're that link. You're that
Yeah.
important link for these
I'm a
people.
great bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a great bridge.
So yeah, build your. That's your business. That's your niche. That's your calling. Because there's certain people that need people like you. And if
Yeah,
you're good hearted, like a lot of people say you are, they don't have to worry about it. If they do wrong, that's on them. That's not on you.
right.
You got to sleep well at night because you're not $100 bill. You can't make everybody happy,
Exactly.
right? And people have to start taking responsibility for themselves. They
That's the
they
problem in country rap. Um, there's not a lot of camaraderie like there should be. It's the two individuals that are the negative side of it. They're one of them is actually pretty big in the game. That's why the rumors have spread
Mhm.
as quickly as they have, because he has a platform in and of itself. Um, but if people actually looked and paid attention and listened to more than just what was coming out of their mouths,
Mhm.
they would see whose integrity actually stands up.
Mhm.
So, and right now, with the shock factor that it had for you when I
Mhm.
told you they've made up this lie that my best friend's a pedophile,
Wow.
that's what they were looking for, because they went to individuals who have song and music and who openly speak about pedophiles and what should happen to them, what they believe should happen to them.
And those are serious accusations. Those are very serious accusations.
It really is, and they don't know the seriousness of it until they get to see me face to face again.
Wow. Well, hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully nothing happens, and you just, it's difficult, right? It's difficult because from time to time, some people need their ass whooped.
Yes. Yeah,
People,
he's never taken an ass whooping in his life.
yeah.
He just has that, but he uses people's necks like rungs on ladders.
Mm,
So however he can use you up and spit you out is what he does. And so many, and you don't talk about it openly like I'm talking about it now. They don't talk about it. That's the problem. Because if you talk about it, you're a punk. If you talk about it, we're going to blackball you. If you talk about it, then there's going to be some serious repercussions that will
yes.
happen, you know? So nobody talks about it. And it's so bad in the country rap that I actually had a huge artist that I interviewed, that I went out of state to interview, hit me up and say, "Hey, can you pull the interview?" Why? Well, we got something big going on later on. Okay, so I went ahead and I pulled the video down. Come to find out, that rumor had made it to this huge artist. That rumor of my best friend who was there helping me set up cameras. So the artist said, "Hey, will you pull the interview?" I have since put the interview back up because now I know the actual
Mm,
reason why. And I did a post about it, letting said artist know how fucking stupid he is for listening to rumors and lies and stupidity. And he went quiet all of a sudden. Hmm.
that sounds like very, very childish.
It's very.
Very, very childish. Like it's as an artist, your sole goal is to perform and build credibility,
Yep.
right? That's your sole goal. It's gain respect,
Hmm.
and the respect you gain is because of things you have accomplished,
Yes.
not gossip, not gossip, not that. Those are child's games, like unfortunately hip hop, rap can be a child's game,
Yes.
but it's solely up to you, the person, the management, whoever. It's it's your job to always keep them on check.
Yes.
You want to you want to be great, you want to be successful, you got to discipline yourself. The way you walk, right? You got to be a gold standard.
Yes.
Nobody wants to be around people that gossip like children and say stupid shit.
I call him a court gesture.
That's
He's
funny.
more of a promoter, but he thinks he can rap. He's a white boy rapper. Let me just put it
Mm,
like that.
okay.
Um, and he has built a huge platform for country rap.
Mm,
But I ain't gonna put you on the stage unless you pay me $5,000. That's how dirty he is.
mm. So he's monetizing from his platform.
Mm-hmm.
When you're great, and I only speak out of experience. I never speak out of I only speak of the things I've been through and
Yeah.
I've witnessed and gone through. When you're great, when you do good without anything in return, you know, you can call it God, you could call it the universe, you call it whatever the fuck you want to call it. It will reward you.
Yes.
If your purpose is to build that platform and for people can succeed, and you can say, hey, I did my best. It was up to I gave you the platform, I was up to you. Like I have people in the podcast promoting businesses, music, whatever. It's like I gave you the platform. If
Mm-hmm.
you did not do nothing with that, that's on you. That's not on me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I've been rewarded immensely.
Mm-hmm.
Not to what I need, right? Or what I would like, but that will come.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes. Yep.
It's
And
just
having to weed through the bullshit and, go back to um just being able to get the music out there. Like, I don't expect anything in return.
mhm.
I put these people on because I love the music. I'm a people watcher. I like to talk to people. I like to find out why they work, why they're doing what they're doing. Um, so I'm going to end up starting another podcast. I just haven't decided on the theme of it yet or what niche I'm going to go into. But there's a lot of people's heads that are going to roll on this one.
Wow. Straight out the bat.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, on the podcast, um, after the first round of lies started and rumors started, I dropped the video.
Mm,
The crickets stopped chirping for a while.
mm,
Now it has gone to the point of you're going out of your way to tell upper echelon in the music business lies and deceit. Like, there have been so many people who have hit me up who are like, Miranda, this is what he did to me. Miranda, that's what he did to me. This is what he did. And I'm like, y'all got to start talking about it.
mhm.
They don't want to talk about it because of what negative blemish it's going to put in them, or the upper echelon don't even want to fuck with it, or they like the person and they start blackballing you.
Yeah.
So that's the phase that I'm at right now, is where I'm getting blackballed from the upper echelon because of the lies and the bullshit and the deceit. So I go right back to my roots, and it's time to only focus on the little guys. Go back to not even dealing with any of the big guys and just keep putting on the little guys and giving them a platform.
I mean, why focus on the big guys when you made them?
It's because to keep the viewers.
Mm,
So
got
so
it.
the big names keep the viewers for the little guys so they can be seen. So there was a method to the madness.
Mhm.
Yeah. But that's the biggest thing now, is just keeping the platform for the little guys to have a voice, and as I come across people who have had a bad run in with certain individuals, I try to talk them into talking about it. But the fear of the repercussions is too great for a majority of them. A lot of them aren't like me. A lot of them won't be like, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. Like, I dare you. I'm daring you. But that's why I have, on video, this said individual running from me saying, get this bitch off me, get this bitch off me. Because you do me wrong, guess what? I'm going to get the last laugh.
Hmm.
So
What do you want? Like what is your goal?
I want to
Like what will
ideally
make Miranda Monday happy?
um keeping the podcast going, doing it. And then ideally, I would love to find an artist who lives close enough to me that I can work hands on with to help them further down their path. Um, and then, if I make money off of it, that's great. I got a great job. I make a lot of money doing what I do. So if I can help somebody a little bit further down their path, then that's payoff for me at the end of the day.
And that's beautiful, but like you and these other people, they gotta get you gotta take all that negative shit and let it go because you're great. You're great. Ain't
I
nobody
know.
gonna ain't nobody gonna deny your greatness, you know. But in order for your greatness to shine like it's meant to shine, you got a gift. You made one person go big. You made two-person go big.
Yeah.
What makes you think you can't do it again? And but for that to happen, you gotta let these fucking I don't know what you call these dumbasses. You gotta let them go. It's not worth it. It's not worth your time
Right.
because time. The most important thing for a person to have is time,
Yes.
and they're not on your time. They're not on
No.
Miranda times.
No, and they taking up rent in my head
Yeah,
that they ain't paying for.
exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Oh,
I
they gonna
mean,
pay for it. They just don't know it yet.
hey, hey, where
There's
whether it comes, that it come because you know it's not gonna waste your time. You know,
exactly. Hmm. Just
it's
getting. I'm the only one that's gonna talk about it.
yeah.
I'm the only one that's gonna get it out there.
Because you're the only one who's courageous.
Hmm.
And people that don't talk about, that's what they do, right? They take people because I'm the same way as you. They take people like us and use them because
Yes.
to be a voice. But I've learned throughout time, like, that's not benefiting me because me
Mm-mm.
being the only one standing alone and being upfront about this shit, ain't nobody helping me. Ain't
Right.
nobody tapping on my back. Ain't nobody give me food to eat. Ain't nobody being there for me. So I've learned in my person, I gotta let that shit go.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm able to come so far. Take a deep breath. That's just not, like I said, I'm a big believer of, put it, whether you call it God or whatever the fuck people call it, you put it in the universe's hands or God's hand, and he will take care of that shit because God don't like ugly. And the universe doesn't like it either.
Yes.
And you keep pushing, it's not like you haven't had success
Yeah.
because I've seen it in your platform. It's not like you haven't had success. You have it. But here's the thing: and again, I take myself as an example. You're gonna focus on these things that's not worth it, and you're gonna lose sight of the opportunities, of the potential, you know, of things that make you smile and happy.
Yeah.
Like you've overcome so much, so fucking much, from car crash to beatings to operations. Like, who's to say the only person stopping is yourself? And you take these people and just fucking discard them because you got at some point you gotta turn off the radio, lower the volume, because the
Right.
only thing that matters is you, and the only one that's gonna push you forward is you.
Right.
If you're able to fucking smash all these obstacles, what makes you think you can't do it again? Right?
Yeah, you're right.
Like this, whatever they're doing, that's just gonna fall on them, right?
I hope
Because
so.
they're gonna need people to recreate them. But you ain't nobody gonna beat you because you're creating them. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yep. I just have to find a artist who wants to take the wild ride because it's a wild ride for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And they're gonna find you. They're gonna find
Yeah.
you. You know, because when energy is good, when you're about progress, progress will find you.
Yeah.
Progress will find you. You know, surround yourself with people that want it, not people that don't want it. You gotta surround yourself with people that want to grow. They ain't about progress. I don't want to talk to you because your time is
Right.
precious. Now, my wife is a real estate agent, and I, great women help great men become men, great men, right? And she tells me all the time, like, if they're not talking about how can we build, how can we connect, how can we better, I don't want to have a conversation with these fucking people.
Exactly.
I've seen her numerous times in a fucking day just hang up people out of nowhere because what they tell them is like, all right, but understand you got to do it, not them, and they don't understand that. But I'm over. I'm on to
Hmm. Yeah. It's it is a wild ride.
Yeah.
You have to be able to trust individuals, and in the music business, that's you come in all trusting and good hearted and wanting to uh make the world a better place and get your word out there, and you get burnt by this person, that person, this person. And a lot of great artists have stopped doing their craft because of
Hmm.
that. And that's not fair. That's not fair to the artist, and it's damn sure not fair to the fans, you know.
Very true.
So that's one of the bigger things is wanting to, yeah, they want to get up on a stage, but they're not willing to put in the work and sit on a Facebook Live for an hour once a week, getting in with their people, answering their people's questions, talking with their people, getting to know them, building
Acknowledging them.
super fans. Yes, exactly. That's what social media should be for. Yeah, you stay in touch with your friends and family and what have you, but use it as a work tool.
Yes,
You can
100%.
sit in your home and reach somebody in China with your word. So why wouldn't you do that? And not a lot of
Priorities.
artists are doing that. They just
Priorities.
use it to post up when their show is. Well, yeah, you want to get people to the show, but how do you get them to be fans before you get them to the show? You got to talk to them. You got to be real with them. Because when you're on camera, you can only lie for so long.
Hmm.
You can only fake it for so long. The camera is going to tell on you, you
100%.
know? And I think that's what a lot of people are scared of, is giving up their personal side. It wasn't until here that I started talking about my personal side.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things in life you got to be vulnerable. That's the only way
Yes,
you're going to be strong. I mean, sorry, you're going to be strong. You got to be vulnerable. Transparency. You
yes,
got you got to be real with yourself. You got to call your own self out.
exactly.
You,
Exactly.
you got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror, take accountability, say you fucked up, say you're
Hmm.
not right. Can you do better? You got to deep and look inside and come to terms with shit. If you're not willing to do that, this shit's not gonna work.
It's not. It's
It's
not.
not.
You can write the best song in the world, but if you're a shitty individual,
It's gonna come out.
yeah.
Sooner or later, it's gonna come out.
And see, I don't know if you've had the experiences yet or not, but talking to somebody whom you've looked up to for so long, or meeting somebody that you've looked up to for so long and finding out that they're really a shitty individual.
Yeah, idols become rivals.
Yes, absolutely. And, that's one of the bad sides of the business is you get to see how some artists are really shitty individuals. They treat their fans like crap, and you can't do that. You're only here because of the fans.
Hmm.
And a lot of people just don't get it these days. They want to jump in and just be an artist. Well, okay, so go sign with somebody. If you're not willing to put in all the hard fucking work that it's a full-time job in and of itself, just building your career in the music
Yeah,
business. If you don't have a team behind you, you have to create your own team. And that goes back to being able to trust someone, being able to trust a couple people. And being in this industry, trust is hard to come by.
it's not even about trust. It's sense of responsibility. You have a responsibility to complete it.
Yeah.
You have a job to do, just do it.
Yes.
And this is like what and I like where they tell you don't mix. When you're there's no friends when you're working. Just do your
Absolutely.
job, right? You know, clock in, clock out, and there's no thing of being social. The people want that,
Yes.
and that's
Yep.
fine. But also be responsible.
Exactly.
You could, I've there's plenty of times when I worked a 9 to 5. Before I started, doing things on my own, right? Being an entrepreneur, as one would say, I find myself with a lot of working with a lot of cool people, dope
Yes.
people. When it came to work, they fucking sucked. And I would, and I was constantly get shitted on, get, reprimanded. And, it's like I'm a grown ass man.
Hmm.
I don't need people telling me what's right, what is wrong, or how to talk to me. I'm not a little kid,
Yeah.
and, these, these relationship would crumble because it
I need
wasn't
one of
worth it.
your hats. I'm
I'll,
so
I'll,
sorry. I love your hat.
thank you. I'll send you one. I'm in the process of making more. I'll
I
send you
love
one.
it. I love
Thank you.
it. I'm
Thank
a
you.
hat person. I can't contain it anymore. I need a hat.
I will.
I,
I will. I'll
I will
send you one.
totally. I'll hook you up. I'll wear it. I'll sport it and be a billboard for you.
I appreciate that. I'll send you it.
Absolutely.
I'm in the process of making more soon. Just been working on it.
Yeah. Yep. It's again a process.
Yeah, everything's a process.
So, what made you decide to get into this?
Um, it's something, that's you know what? How about I come on your show and we'll talk about it?
Oh, okay. Okay. We can do that.
I would
We
love to
can do
share.
that.
I would love to share my journey on your show, on your podcast, on your platform.
That would be awesome. We will definitely set it up. I'll
Yes.
give you my open dates.
Right. Send them over. I'm dying. I'm dying to do be some guests, and I be a
Mhm.
guest. But you know what it is? Like it's very. I'm not picky. I just like if I give you a good product, I want you to use it.
Right.
And I've been a part of things that like they don't use it. They don't put it out there or they stop doing it.
Yes.
It's like I'm here all about. I want people to support me, and I'm all about supporting other people. But if I'm going on and you don't capitalize on that, you don't do nothing with that. Like every show is special, right?
Yes.
And you just stop. Like then what my time it's a waste then,
Yes.
right? Um, but hey, you let me know. We'll do it. We'll chop it up. We'll say
Absolutely. Yeah,
every
as soon as
Monday.
we get off here, I'll send you my dates every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on Facebook, and then we drop all of the rest of the podcast platforms a few weeks later because we keep a couple of them in the bag in case we have to miss a week or what have you.
Yeah. I'm the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Very important.
But yeah, YouTube, Facebook, all the socials. If you want to listen to us, we're on your favorite podcast platform. Just Google Monday Love Podcast and we're
Boom.
there.
Boom. Well, thank you for being on the show. It's been an honor and a privilege listening to your story. Hey, you have so much potential. Capitalize on that shit. Don't let nobody stop your shine. And I appreciate this conversation. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. You have no idea what it means for me. It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm out, guys. Have a good night.